What is the stupidest way you've injured yourself? When I was a kid, we had this awful blue carpet in the living room. It was bright, almost electric blue, shaggy and weirdly soft, the kind of carpet that traps every crumb and looks matted no matter how many times you vacuum it. It covered the entire room from wall to wall, and for some reason, I was obsessed with it. I used to pretend it was water, not metaphorically. Like, I truly convinced myself it was the ocean. One day, I watched a movie or a cartoon where the characters jumped into a painting and suddenly they were inside it, living in that world. The logic clicked instantly. If they could jump into a painting and live inside it, I could definitely dive into the carpet and swim around like I was in The Little Mermaid. No hesitation. I knew it was possible. I just had to believe hard enough. So I climbed onto the recliner, not the seat. I went full commitment, up onto the armrest like it was the diving platform at the Olympics. I stood there, arms out like I was about to take flight, staring at that big blue sea stretched out across the floor. The living room was empty. My parents were in the kitchen. It was just me, the recliner, and the ocean. I swan dove. I tucked my arms, aimed for the center of the room, and flung myself off the chair like I was soaring into open water. I hit the floor with full force. There was no splash, no gentle descent into magical waves. Just face, knees, chest, asterisk thud star. The wind got knocked out of me. I couldn't breathe. I remember this burning shock in my chin and collarbone, like my whole upper body had short-circuited. I rolled over onto my side gasping like a fish out of water, which in a way, I guess I was. It didn't take long before the pain set in. I didn't break anything, but I definitely jammed something in my shoulder. My chin was scraped raw from the carpet, my lip was bleeding, and I had rug burn up the side of my cheek. I lay there moaning until my mom came around the corner and found me on the floor twitching like I'd been tossed. She shouted my name, ran over, and tried to pick me up, but I started crying immediately, so she backed off. She kept asking what happened, and I was trying to talk through sobs and a busted lip, something about how I was swimming, which just confused her more. Eventually, I pointed at the chair and then the floor and tried to mime a dive, which didn't help my case. She thought I had fallen off the recliner accidentally. That would have made more sense. But I kept insisting I jumped, that it was on purpose, that the floor was the ocean. She sat me up and looked at my face, sighed so loud I still remember it, and said, "What were you thinking?" I didn't answer. I just kept crying and holding my shoulder like I'd survived a war. She got me an ice pack, some frozen peas and a dish towel, and put me on the couch with cartoons and a juice box. My dad got home a little later and saw the scrapes. I heard my mom in the kitchen telling him what happened. He walked into the living room, looked at me sideways, and said, "So you thought the carpet was the ocean?" I nodded. He shook his head, sat down next to me, and turned on the news like he didn't even want to engage. The next day at school, I had a big red burn across the side of my cheek, and a stiff shoulder I couldn't lift above elbow height. Everyone kept asking what happened. I told one kid I fell off the couch. I told another kid I was doing stunts. But by lunchtime I cracked and told my best friend the truth, that I dove into my carpet because I thought it was water. He laughed so hard milk came out of his nose. He told everyone. For weeks after that, kids would pretend to dive into the classroom rug and shout splash. It became a thing. I was the carpet swimmer. My third grade legacy. Looking back, that's the dumbest way I've ever injured myself. I've done plenty of dumb things since. Climbed trees too high, rode my bike into a mailbox, once jumped off a roof trying to catch a frisbee. But nothing beats diving headfirst into a floor because I thought it was the ocean. I still flinch a little when I see blue carpet.